how you doing? Welcome to my channel and thank you for watching. Today's episode is going to be an introduction and a bio about who I am and where I've come from along my journey as a hairstylist. I'm super excited to share my story with you about my journey as a hairstylist, as an entrepreneur, my faith journey. I'm going to call it my faith journey because it has definitely been a faith walk, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So I hope that this be an inspiration, some encouragement to pursue this industry or any type of entrepreneurship. I hope that it just be an inspiration. Be sure to like, comment, and share this video. Alright, so let's talk, y'all. I am an entrepreneur. I am also a hairstylist. I'm an educator. I like to call myself a creative. I love to create things. I love to develop things. I'm very sensitive to paying attention to what is needed in the earth. It's a lot to do with my purpose of finding out what is it that God has called me to do and being sure that I execute, create things that's going to help make things better. That is exactly why He called us to this earth, was to pursue purpose on how we can make it better. So that is one thing that I want to share with you guys, how I figured all of this out. And I can definitely say that I haven't done this on my own. This has been a faith walk for me. So let's start straight from the top. So in the beginning of the industry, of my career in the industry, what I noticed was I went to about 2 different salons and I was an independent contractor. Now, I'm going to say some things that were good and that were bad on my journey. I want you to know a little bit about all of the things because, I feel like it's not good to just tell just one part of the story. But one thing that I realized is that in the industry, you have to have the motivation for yourself. Not a lot of people, what I realized is that I didn't want to put my growth in the hands of other people because some people just don't have enough time to maintain the growth that you need. And when I say that is sometimes you may be desiring more, but people can only give what they have. And my desire to grow in the industry my level was high. I was an overachiever. Like, I wanted so much more. I'm still like that to this day because I'm just very passionate about what it is that I'm doing. So I'm constantly always learning new things or creating and developing things that's going to keep me evolving. Not everyone in the industry is that way. So, what I realized is that if you're hungry and no one's feeding you, you have to be sure that you go out and get the food yourself. So, I realized that was a lot of the reasons why I kind of moved away from the salon, and I felt like I had to do it on my own. Now that I'm a little bit older, I realize a lot more things that I could probably have done differently. But I started working from home, and when I worked from home, I did set my living room up like a salon. And while I did that, when I worked from home, God would send me the client. I would still shampoo my clients as if I was in the salon. And I also took in I serviced them like they was in the salon. They had a dryer, they had shampoos, they had all of these different things. And I stayed busy working from home. Now, what I can say is working from home is a great start, but it's never a great finish. And that is my own personal reason, because of the fact that you want to be sure that you can separate personal and business. And that was the downfall from working from home. I felt like I was always working. There was never too many off days or off moments, because my business was in my home. So you have to know how to, not saying that it can't be done, but I am saying that you have to be sure that you set your boundaries around working from home and working, like actually working and actually being relaxed at home. So, I would say too, I did that for probably about a year to a year and a half. And after I did that, God began to downpour so many things inside of me or whatnot. And I'll tell you guys about that a little later. But I realized at that moment that I was a hairstylist and I needed to do more. So that's when I made a decision that I was going to actually go to school. So I ended up working at Canvas Hair and Makeup. This was the last salon that I worked at before I started my own business. But I ended up working at Canvas Hair Salon and Makeup. And I worked there for about 3.5 years. And I learned so much there. There was so much I was able to learn about business, and so much I learned about, professionalism, and so many things of that nature. But that was the last salon that I worked at before I opened my own salon. Okay, so the question that I get all the time is, how did you know that you wanted to become a hairstylist? I get the question all the time. So I want to say that I didn't know. I didn't. One thing that I can say is, I would say that God revealed to me who I was when I didn't have anything. I didn't know what else to do. So since the age of 13, I was 13 years old when I first started in the industry. I started off braiding. But before I actually started braiding, my mom used to take us to the salon all the time. And my aunt used to do our hair. She was a very detailed stylist. So the fact that she was a detailed stylist, she took a lot longer than the rest of the stylists in the salon. So because she did our hair and we were family, we would always be there early, but we would always get service last. And in the midst of us getting service last, I had no choice but to sit there and watch every client that she had. So I just noticed the details of everything that she did, and I just paid attention to it. So, eventually as I kept going, I just stood by her and just looked at the details of everything, and before you know it, I was paying attention to the way the salon was run. I paid attention to a lot of the good things and a lot of the bad things, a lot of the things that the clients loved, a lot of the things that the clients didn't. I just was very paying attention to everything. Now back then I had no clue why I was paying attention, but I noticed the whole flow of the salon flow. So, long story short, I'm gonna move a little forward, and I want to say I was about 12 years old, possibly. We had a cookout. It was the 4th of July. I can never forget it. And we had a cookout. Everyone was out in the backyard. And I said, you know what? I'm going to leave this cookout, and I'm going to go in the house, and I'm going to pick up my doll baby. I had a doll baby at the time, and I was like, I'm going to learn how to braid. So my mom was a braider back then. And I paid attention to her braiding, and I tried to get it, but I could never do it. But on this 4th of July evening, I mastered getting the concept of doing a cornrow on the doll. Now that was super exciting for me, because from that day forward, that was like the thing that I needed to just keep going. So I started braiding my dog's hair, I started braiding my family's hair, I started braiding my friends' hair, I started braiding my classmates' hair. I just was braiding. And then I want to say like a year or two later, my parents will always ask us, what did you want for Christmas? And that particular year, I was like, you know what? I think I want a thermal iron. I wanted you remember back in the day they had the thermal set with the curling iron and the blow dryer. I asked for all of those things, y'all. I didn't know how to use it yet, but I just asked for it. So they bought me a mannequin. They bought me a dryer, a hood cylinder dryer, and they bought me curling set, the thermal curling set. Now at that time I was just braiding people's hair, but once I got that for Christmas, I started practicing on doing other services on the people who I was getting. Now I'm gonna pause the story right there. One thing that I realized as I got older was that my parents planted a seed in my life. So I stopped the story to say this. If you notice that your child is very passionate about something, plant seeds in their life to allow them to continue to go with that thing. Because you just never know what may happen. Alright, so back to the story. So I do thank my mom and my stepdad for planting that seed in my life, because that was a life changer for me, and I didn't even know it. I don't think they even knew it back then either. So the crazy thing was, back there in those times, hairstylists were nowhere near who we are today. Even the amount of money that was made was not the same as it is today. So back then, when people thought a hairstylist, a lot of the people like in career developments and those type of things that were working with me, they would always try to encourage me to do something else. Because they was like, there's no way you're gonna make any money doing this because you're a hairstylist. Back then, the average that they would say that we would make was like $17,000 a year. But I was so passionate about it, I didn't care about the money. I was just happy about the fact that, this is something that I really love. Like I felt free when I would do someone's hair. And I was very passionate about people. I love people. I love to help people. I love to be around people and all of these different things. So this was just something just to help me with, it just made me feel good about being around people. So, I can say, I did that for years, and then when I got to high school, I was doing a lot more people's hair. I was doing my friends' hair. I started doing their mom's hair. I was doing my friends' mom's hair, and all of these things. Now, in high school, they may ask you, they might say, hey, so, we had to do the career project where we had to actually study what it was that we wanted to be. Now, because I still don't have any idea that I wanted to be a hairstylist, I just enjoy doing it. I think back then I was doing services for like $25. That's how you know I really love to do it. Like, I wasn't doing it to make money. So I was doing it for $25, but I think I was studying interior design. I had no clue what that was until I had to do a study. But when I did the study, they was like, after doing the details of the study, I was like, I don't think I want to do this. Like, this does not interest me at all. But they got paid a lot of money. So I don't know if y'all was like that, but in high school, we were trying to figure out things of what's going to pay the bills and allow you to live the lifestyle that you wanted. So interior design was my thing. So after that, I would say it took for me, after high school, graduated from high school, one thing about me, I'm very hardworking. I love to work. But I love to do different things. But back then I was a real hard worker. I used to work 2 jobs, but I always did hair for my free time. And it took, so to answer the question, how did I recognize that I was going to be a hairstylist, was it took for me, I was down to 1 job and doing hair, and I got fired from one of my jobs. Like, literally, they suspended me, and then when I came back from the suspension, I got fired on the spot. And I had never got fired ever in my life, but for some reason when I got fired, I was not as disappointed as I thought I would be. And the reason why I say that is because when I got fired, I started looking for jobs the moment that I got fired from the job, but I couldn't find any jobs. I couldn't seem to get hired, and at this point, I had my own place. I was living in my own place. Had my own car note at the time. I want to say I was probably I had to be about a good 19 years old. I probably like 19, 20 years old. And I had my own house, and I had my own car. I had all of these things, but I had no clue what I was going to do. So my only thing was thinking, okay, now I'll do here until I find me another job. But here wasn't paying the bills. It wasn't paying all of my bills. So I eventually had to leave my house. I ended up losing my house, losing my car, and I was down to nothing, and I had to stay with my grandmother. So I was left with hair, and I had no desire to work anywhere else. So that's how I realized that, okay, well, maybe I'll try becoming a hairstylist. So the moment I was looking for a job, I couldn't find anything. When I tell you guys, when it looks like your backup is up against the wall, God will come save you. He will come rescue you and provide a way for you. Someone reached out to me on social media, and he was like, hey, have you ever heard of apprenticeship? And at the time, I was like, no, what is that? And then he was like, an apprenticeship is pretty much someone who comes into a salon. They may not have a license, but they go through apprenticeship with a licensed professional and learn the skill and the trade through that licensed professional. So they're supposed to teach you everything that you need to know about the industry. They teach you everything that you need to know about the industry. And so that you can pass it forward. And it's not something that you just do, but it's something that you have to make sure that you give them all of the tools and skills that they need so that they can pass this test. So someone came in and asked me that, and I was like, no, I never heard of that. He was like, well, my aunt is offering this service. You know, she's looking for someone to apprentice or whatnot. Do you think you'd be interested? And I was like, yeah, you know. I said, so what I'll be doing? I'll be working in a salon? And she was like, yeah. I said, okay. So I actually went there, got the job, and I started servicing my clients there. From that day, my career took off before I knew it. I was young, I was thriving in the industry, I was passionate, I was creative, and I was so grateful at that time because the lady, she took me under her wing and she was educating me, teaching me how to be professional in the industry. I learned so much at that first salon. So that's how I figured out that's what I was going to do.